Hey, math friends. So our learning target today is that I can add or delete a data point and able to analyze how it affects the mean. So we know how to calculate mean, but what happens if I add a new test score to the data set? How does that change things? Or if I delete one, how does that change things? So here's our first scenario. All right. So if we know that we have this data set and we have some test scores, and let's say that I want to try to figure out what I need to get on my next test to get a B in the class or an A or something. So I have these data points and I'm trying to figure out what do I need to get on the next one so that I can get an average in the class of 18. So what we would do then is we would add up the data points that we know, these ones, and we get 71. So it's really 71 plus what number when I divide it by all of these, so 5, because this is my unknown, how does that give me an 18? What does that number have to be? So the cool part about this is really just it's a two-step equation. So to do that, and I have it solved here as well, you're going to just multiply nice and high by 5, copy paste. And so you end up getting 71 plus x equals 90. And then you would subtract 71, copy paste. So you get x is equal to 19. So you can guess and check it too, but it just takes so much longer to do that. But you would need a 19 to add all of these, divide by 5, and get an 18. So that's just the overview. So that might have been really fast, but that's just the overview of what we're going to do. So let's try it. Let's try it. So if you talk about example 1, and we know these are our test scores, let's add those up quick. So that'd be 30, 40, 58. I'm getting 58. So we want to know, what does this one have to be to get an average of 13? So to get average, we have to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one, 5. We need it to be average of 13. So we're going to just solve using what we know about build house, build fence, clean yard. Those die, so we end up with 58 plus x equals, and it's the same procedure every time, so 13 times 5 is 65. So we'd subtract 58, copy paste, copy paste. So we end up with that x is equal to 7. So we know that this has to be a 7 in order for that data set to work out. So that's how we would do it. That's just an example of how we do it. You can also guess and check it, but that takes a long time. I'm going to have you try question 2 based on what you just saw, and then so I'm going to have you pause the video. All right. Here we go. So we're going to add these up. So that's 38 and then plus this one, which we're trying to figure out. If I divide that by 3, 1, 2, and 3, I get 16. So solving, to kill that denominator, we multiply by 3, copy, paste, copy, paste. So we end up with 38 plus x equals 48. And then we are going to subtract 38, copy, paste, copy, paste. We find out then that the x value has to equal 10 for that to work out, that the x has to be 10. So if the x value is 10 and we add those and divide by 3, we get a mean of 16. So that's what we call adjusting the data set when we add or delete a point. So there's some more examples of those. So let's try an example of a real world situation of when would we apply this. So Miguel has test scores of 95, 82, 76, and 88. Those are the test scores so far. What score must he get on the 5th test to get an average of 84 on all 5 tests, which would give him a B in the course? So we're really going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to divide by all 5 of those. So our job then is to add up the ones that we know. So we're going to add up these, the ones that we know. So that's 95 plus 82 plus 76 plus 88. So that gives us 341. Those are the test scores so far. Plus x divided by the 5 is equal to 84. So these add up to 341. And then plus that one that's unknown. So to solve this then, we're going to multiply nice and high, copy, paste, copy, paste. We're trying to figure out what value does Miguel need to get on the next test. So 341 plus x is equal to 84 times 5. It's the same thing over and over and over. You should have noticed that there's definitely a pattern happening here. So we just subtract by 341, copy, paste, copy, paste. So we get x is equal to 420 minus 341. That means he needs to get a score of 79 on the last test. So what we're saying then is this last test right here has to be a 79 for that to work out. Now you can check it. You can add those all up and divide by 5 and make sure you get the 84, just like you would do when you're calculating average. Let's try another one that is another real world problem. All right. The Volkman family must drive an average of 250 miles per day to complete their vacation on time. So that has to be their average. That has to be what it has to equal. On the first 5 days, they travel 220, 300, 210, 275, 240. How many miles must they travel on the 6th day to get to their destination on time? So now we're really dividing by 6 days. So we know how much they traveled already. We're going to add that up. So that's 220 plus 300 plus 210 plus 275 plus 240. So add those up, which gives me 1245 so far they've traveled. Plus one more day of travel divided by 6 gives us the average of 250. So to solve that, then we're going to multiply by 6, copy, paste, copy, paste. And so we're left with 1245 plus x is equal to 250 times 6 is 1500. So we go to solve this then. We subtract 1245, copy, paste, copy, paste. How many miles do they need to travel on day 6? You would end up with 255 miles they need to yet travel on the 6th day. X represents the 6th day. So we're saying on day 6, they have to travel 255 miles on day 6. So that when you take all those, divide by 6, it averages 250 miles per day. So that's kind of the summary of how we adjust a data point. I just want to look at something real quick. That's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to have you try one on your own. Let's have you try, let me see, is that one? Let's have you try number 8. Okay, so I'm going to have you pause the video, try number 8. Think of this like test scores. These are the first 3 test scores. What do you need to get on the 4th one to get an average of 17? Go. All right, here we go. Unpause the video. Hopefully you did okay. So if we add these up, that would be 11 plus 17 plus 18 gives me 46 so far. 46 points so far. Plus one more test score. And we're going to divide by, it will be 4 scores once we figure out what this one is. That has to average 17. Cool. So now that we do that, we're going to multiply by 4, copy, paste, copy, paste. So we get 46 plus x is equal to 17 times 4 is 68. So we're going to subtract 46, copy, paste, copy, paste. So we get x is equal to 22. So we believe that the next test has to be a 22 in order to get the average to work out to 17. So hopefully you nailed it, but that's how we would find the adjust the mean, adjusting by a data point. All right, so that is our learning target for today. Have a glorious